What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review SWV and Xscape, the Queens of R&B, which comes on Bravo and on the Peacock Network. This is season 1. This is episode 5. There's only one more episode left after this, and who knows? I don't know if they're gonna do a second season of this or not, because it's been a lot has gone on. There's been a lot of things on social media, a lot of things in the blog about this. But let's get right down to this episode 5. So both groups have decided they were going to co-headline. So now in this episode, we see them picking out dancers, rehearsing for dancers, auditioning people for dancers to see who's gonna be. And this was really fun. This was lighthearted. You saw them looking at different dancers, who they're gonna want for this show that they're doing together. And the funny moment was when Taj got out there and started dancing and doing the worm. And she got on the floor and break dancing. That was funny. That was really fun. So that was a funny moment. There also was a good moment in this episode where we saw the Scott sisters, Latasha and Tamika, come together in the studio and saying that they got to work these things out, and they're holding each other accountable. And it was like, okay, so this episode seems to be going pretty good. And I'm like, well, it's a little different from what we're seeing in the blogs and what you're hearing here on YouTube about the sisters fighting and all this drama, receipts about stealing the $30K from Tamika, that Rocky and Latasha stole his money. You saw that in the blogs and on social media. We saw that Tamika came up with the receipts, and then Latasha and her husband rebutted that. And then next thing you know, there was this, they went on Ricky Smiley. Then Latasha got into it with the Brad on Ricky Smiley, and that turned into something. And then next day she turned into Jimmy Swaggart, and she's on Latasha turned into Jimmy Swaggart, and she's crying and pleading forgiveness and apologizing. It didn't come off well. All of that didn't come off well. She's apologizing and she's saying, forgive me, and that she's being attacked because she's doing gospel, and it was a whole lot of craziness. But let's stick with the show. So now we get down to them picking out. Before we get into that, let's say another good thing I liked about this episode was we saw where Coco's son Jalen has decided that he's going to stay in school, which is good because the music business can be very fickle and funny. So it's good that he's going to stay in school and maybe pursue the music on the side, because up one day, down the next. So it's good to have a career like being a dentist to fall back on. So I know Coco was happy about that when we saw that. So we see that they're preparing for this show, getting ready. There's this set list, what songs they're going to do. And so Coco and Candy meet up to go over the set list with, I guess the guy's name was Steve, and he's also the one that was doing the graphic designs and everything. And this is where you see a little bit of the tension. Coco came in there a little rough. She came in there a little tough. But the reason was because earlier in the episode, Taj had a conversation with the rest of the group, with SWV, the rest of them, and told them that basically Xscape said that, they want to do understanding as the closing number. So here we go with this whole who's headline and who's this. Even though they decided to do a co-headline, somebody got to end the show. I don't know why they both just couldn't end the show. But she's saying, Tamika was saying they need to do understanding. Taj was saying they need to do Weak, because Weak is the bigger song. It is. That song sold like 3 million copies. It was a huge song. Both great songs, though. So they went that back and forth. And pretty much, Tamika told her, she said, listen, Tiny and Candy have this huge social media presence, and they got more followers than the three of you put together. That's what she basically told them. And she said, and they're more relevant. So then, of course, Lily went back and told the rest of her group members, I'm sorry, not Lily. Taj went back and told the rest of her group members. She said, listen, they basically saying we ain't relevant. And, our followers, we don't have the same amount of followers. So that's why they should be a headliner or whatever. That's why these songs should go first. I don't think that's a good reason, because followers doesn't always make, first of all, that's That's not Xscape's achievement. That is Tiny and Candy's achievements outside of the group Xscape. When we talking Xscape and SWV, we should be sticking to the music and to the facts of that. I get all of that about I get what they're trying to say, but at the same time, I'm like, it should all just be a group effort. This is a group effort. It should not be this, who's that. Just do this group effort thing here. And like SWV has a point, they've sold more records. They have more hits. Weak is the bigger song. It's the bigger song. But okay, they go into this, they're having this, Coco and Candy are having this conversation about the songs. And I thought it was funny and a little petty too. They're trying to figure it out. And Candy said she wanted Understanding to be last. Coco was like, no, it needs to be Weak. And then she said, well, we think it's this. And then the other one, well, we don't think it's that. So they're at a standstill. And then they had the who should do this and who should do that and all of that. And then Coco said, oh, they're being petty. They just still trying to do this headliner thing. So now they want to do their song last. All of that was getting on my nerves. I was like, why don't y'all just come to a mutual thing? Make up a new song, sing something that y'all can sing together. Like, come on, y'all. It's like, it's really getting ridiculous. So that happened. That kind of puts them at a standstill. But then we still see them going on, getting ready to figure out what they're going to wear for the show. Now, here's another thing. Here's some differences in styles. Xscape likes to be a little bit more risque and sexy, and they have on the stuff, more revealing outfits, and SWV is not about that. SWV kind of covers up more, and they kind of wear more of the hip-hop geared type outfits, as Tiny stated. And it was almost like she kind of took a few digs. They kind of took digs at each other because they asked Lily, would she be caught dead? And Xscape's outfit, and she said, no, I wouldn't be in that revealing stuff. She said, dead, yes, maybe. And if I'm dead. So basically, their styles are night and day. And we see them go meet up at the guy's studio. I forgot what's his name. Something Boy Clothing. What was the guy's name? Wendy, you know the guy's name? She don't know his name. Well, nobody knows his name. But they went to meet up with their stylist, and the guy, he had this place and he had all this stuff. It did look like, stripper type sexy outfits. So they're going, getting sized up. Things still seem to be fun. Then it got a little heated because they got into this thing about who's closing with what song. Coco got frustrated and she was like, you know what? You do your set, we'll do our set. We seen Coco arguing with Tamika. We seen all of this back and forth. We'll just do our set. We ain't got to do it together. You do your set, we'll do our set. And that's that, because this is getting on my nerves. Then Lily chimed in and was saying, I don't like feeling like I'm being downplayed because who has more followers and who wants a piano in their dressing room. It just got real catty, real petty, and real silly. And it was like, okay, so what's going on with this show? Is this going to happen? What's going to happen? And then they stopped that scene right there with that. And then after that, we go to another scene, which was just with Xscape. I thought they were going to finish that, but no, we go to another scene. It's just with Xscape. And it's Xscape having this meeting. It's all 4 members. And this was crazy. So all 4 members. And we see that this is a business meeting. And come to find out, they got the receipts to show that Rocky has been taking side deals with the promoters. They got his text message. They got copies of the text conversation saying he could get off. He got all 4 girl groups together. He'd get an extra $20K on the side for himself. Real shady business. So when they brought Latasha in there on this was the part that made me laugh. She's like, what is this? What is this? Can you read? And Tamika was like, that's your husband's phone number. That right there, those are text messages. This is the proof. Look, it's a whole conversation. She like, anybody could do that. So you, first of all, who's going to take the time to do that? And who would know to do that? And who would know the insides of the promoter's conversation with Rocky and the things that they were saying in there? Come on. So she's like, y'all really think that we did this? And I'm like, yes, we do. And this is like really bad, because isn't this woman coming out with a gospel album? And now it's like you and your husband is appearing to be allegedly, well, not this is receipts, more receipts that y'all are out here scamming and taking money on the side. And I was like, that's really, really, really bad. I don't know. I don't know what she's gonna do. That's crazy right there. And to think that, you got this gospel album coming out on Good Friday. I hope the album does decent. But I'm looking on social media. I'm seeing all the backlash she's getting. And like I said, she did that video where she turned into Jimmy Swaggart and crying and I'm sorry. But I felt like there was no accountability in that when Latasha did that video crying and all that. I think it's too little too late. I don't know who convinced her to do this show if she knew she was going to be acting like this and have a gospel album coming out. You were supposed to play this, like I said before. You were supposed to be on that show in Bible study. You should have been at church. You should have been inviting SWV to church. You should have been inviting Candy to church. You did this all wrong. You got too much negative publicity for a gospel album. It's making it hard for people to want to buy your gospel album. That's I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad for them. But it still seems there's still so much drama and foolishness. Part of me, though, feels like with the whole SWV Xscape thing, and y'all tell me if y'all feel this way, too. I think a lot of that is that little riff, who's headline and all that, is just something they did for the show. That's what I thought originally. That's just the little publicity they're doing for the show to get us to watch the show. And I think they may still tour because if you've seen some of the latest interviews, both groups, I know they're saying that they would still tour with each other if they could get the logistics right and all of that. And I'm like, I think they're going to end up touring together. I think this was all the hype. The show was to get the hype. But I do feel like the drama between Xscape, between Candy and Latasha and the Scott sisters and all of that, that's going to be hard to repair. That, I think, is going to be, I think SWV and Xscape can move forward, but I don't know. Xscape, I don't know. I'm feeling like that drama between them is a lot, especially you got your husband. You're basically, y'all stole from everybody now. Allegedly, you took Tamika's money, and now you getting side deals from the promoters from, when you're supposed to have the group's interest in heart. That's bad. That's bad. So that's all I have for now. Like I said, this was a good episode. The show is very entertaining. I like both groups. Next week, I guess we'll get to see the final show, like how the concert, what happened. Look like there's going to be some more drama there too, which is a little unfortunate. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think? Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.